We don't have free will. At least not like we think we do. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad. There's a lot of things that go on up here. Our brain is a very, very complex machine. We have tens of thousands of inputs that influence all of these different outputs. So while we have this little conscious me, there's a lot going on underneath the hood that really impacts what kind of life we live, what our happiness levels are, and really what we're gonna achieve here on Earth at this time. What influences the decisions we make? Everything has an impact. The music you listen to, the food you eat, the friends you're around, the self-talk that goes on in your head every single day. Have you heard the phrase, you are the company you keep? It's true. Your friend circle, all of that, it perpetuates the power of the subconscious. If you've ever been around a cancerous person and you spend a lot of time with that individual, you know it can derail your life. You have to guard your mind, body, and really soul with your full attention. It has to be important. If you don't consciously control your inputs, it can destroy you. Sitting on social media all day as you scroll, there's an effect. It's often the subconscious comparing. And when you're comparing, you start thinking about what you aren't. And when you think about what you aren't, you're programming yourself to live someone else's life. You're pulling yourself further and further away with true union with the self. That intuitive ability that we're all born with, it becomes clouded. The subconscious conspires against you, really. You have so many things working, pulling you away from that moment, pulling you away from what you're supposed to be doing. How do we see things clear? It takes tremendous work, rigorous self-study, and an unwavering commitment to your own process. Because change isn't gonna happen overnight. It never does, it just doesn't work that way. You have to be able to love yourself for where you are right now in the present moment. To do that, you have to shed anything that makes you feel different. You have to part ways. Use your conscious attention to get off Instagram. Withdraw yourself from the toxic friend group. Focus your energy on things that bring you into the moment. Be present. It's really about maximizing the amount of time that you spend here, now, connected. I mean, just start thinking about how the world works. Start thinking about how marketing works, right? Like, LeBron James wears something and all of a sudden we all associate it as cool, or his select fan group does. That's why he's paid money to endorse things. Like, these are, free thought is really gone. We don't think our own thoughts. We don't really even have our own likes, like our own developed interests. We're so clouded with all these things bombarding us on a daily basis. It's the age of information, and that can work for you because you can figure out anything and everything that you want, but it can also work against you because you can overload yourself with information. And when you overload yourself with information, it leads to unhappiness because there's no time to download and process that, right? There's no walking is a lost art. People don't just leave their phones at home and walk for an hour. That's a good time to let the mind decompress. It's understanding biologically how those things work and then using them to your favor. Meditation's another part, right? Where it's a clear mind. You're just focusing on relaxing, releasing tension, being present. Focus on breath, and then you just become, you just are. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it's all very tangible. It's all very real. See, for me, it's been a lot of this, it's been rigorous self-study. That started in the yoga room. It's really changed to this really hardcore commitment of meditation. I make sure I do this practice twice a day. I'm very committed to that. And you just start seeing things differently. I'm able to look around and I'm really able to assign a reason to why people think they are the way they are and why things are the way they are. And there's so many of these controllable variables that they're leaving just untaken care of, right? There's just so much corrosive activity. They eat poorly, right? There's a dependence on food. There's no fasting. they're never able to break free of that narrative constantly running in their head. And that narrative is never now. The narrative is what happened yesterday, or the narrative is what's going to happen tomorrow, but it's never now, right? And you're able to see all these different components come together. And it's funny because I see them in my own life. Right? I've had those things. I've had those negative people. I've listened to shitty music, right? Like I've done these things that have an impact, because it's everything. It's everything. If it's a song talking about, some of the music out today, it's harmful, it's damaging. You just control the things you can, and you slowly gain more and more control of attention, and it snowballs until eventually you really are creating where you want to go, and you feel fully engaged in every activity you're doing, and you're present, and you're happy, and you're fulfilled. And that is what it is. And that's achievable for everyone. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm bringing this to people. It starts with the self-study. It starts with awareness. It starts with a commitment to process. That's all. Program your subconscious to work for you. Create your own reality.